Sometimes the games we play with our kids slip away, and we don't even notice when they stop. Dear Gammy Gat, Daddy doesn't play as much as he used to. You know, tickle fights and stuff like that. We used to play monster too. I'd hide under the covers and he'd come in growling. I'd scream. Sometimes Daddy would hide under the covers and I'd be the monster. Who's there? Daddy shouted when he heard me growling. Then I'd get him. We don't throw frisbees as much anymore either, or build as many sandcastles. Is it because he's getting too old, or am I? If this feels familiar, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me on the journey inside. I'm Andy Phillips. That was an excerpt from one of Jake's letters from my novel, In Jake's Shoes. Have you ever noticed that something you used to do with your kids just quietly stopped happening? You know, when those tickle fights turned into, not tonight, buddy, or when, will you help me build a sandcastle, became, you can do that by yourself now. Something I ask myself when those play moments began to change, what was I really losing? Here's something to think about. Maybe you're recalling a time like that right now. Maybe you can picture it, a game that quietly disappeared. Jake continues to open up his heart to Gammy Gat. I know you were kind of old. When you get older, I wonder how far back you can remember. When I get older, will I remember what it was like to be the age I am now? Lots of my childhood memories are like photographs. Feelings beneath the surface are tougher to remember. As I grow older, I find myself wondering about those moments and what they meant to my children. Bonding happened in those early play moments. And somewhere along the way, I think I convinced myself they didn't need them anymore. Maybe getting old doesn't mean that we stop playing. Maybe we don't stop building sandcastles. We just build different ones. Jake ends his letter. Will I always remember you? When I think about you now, sometimes it feels like you're far away. When I write you letters, it feels like you're here with me. When I remember the fun things we used to do, or when I tell you stuff, it makes me feel like you're close. When I remember the funeral and seeing you in the hospital, it feels like you're far away. Sometimes I get a kind of goosebumpy feeling when I'm writing to you. I wonder if this is how you use your heaven superpowers to let me know you know. Trying hard to remember the good stuff, Jake. P.S. I love you, Gammy Gat. Here's a takeaway from today. Think of something your child or one of your students experienced that triggered a memory from your childhood. Thanks for being with me today on the journey inside. Take care, and always remember.
Books are an adventure. You can journey anywhere. Just reach out and turn the pages. Begin to